Today, we're going to be looking at the best and worst vehicles that you can lease right now. First, I'm going to walk you through the five worst vehicles and then the five best vehicles. And at the end of the video, we'll do some commentary on the overall market. To measure this, we're using a simple metric, and that is the ratio of the monthly payment to the MSRP of the vehicle. This is also known as the 1% rule. It's called that because people often say that a 1% payment to MSRP ratio is good. And you're about to see some way above that and way below that. We pulled all of this data from our website, cardeals.fyi, where we track every lease deal in the entire country to build an accurate index of lease prices. So let's dive in, starting with the five worst vehicles to lease right now. In fifth place is the Ford F-250 with a ratio of 1.73%. In fourth place is the Land Rover Discovery with a payment to MSRP ratio of 1.74%. In third place, the Range Rover Evoque with a payment to MSRP ratio of 1.81%. And in second place, the Land Rover Range Rover, a lot of Land Rovers in here, with a ratio of 1.91%. And in first place, the worst vehicle to lease in the entire country right now is the Mercedes-Benz G-Class at 1.92% payment to MSRP ratio. So now that we covered the worst, let's look at the five best vehicles to lease in the country right now. In fifth place is the Kia EV6 with a payment to MSRP ratio of 0.91%. Yes, that's already below the 1% rule. In fourth place is the Ram 1500 with a ratio of 0.87%. In third place, another truck, the GMC Sierra, with a ratio of 0.83%. In second place, the Jeep Wrangler with a ratio of 0.82%. And in first place, the vehicle with the best lease deal in the entire country right now is the Polestar 3 with a payment to MSRP ratio of 0.81%. That's literally a 100% better deal than the worst vehicle to lease. So now that we've looked at the numbers, let's dive into what's going on here. Let's start by talking about the worst vehicles to lease. I think you'll notice two things. First of all, they're basically all SUVs except for the F-250. And secondly, there's three Land Rovers in there. And there's kind of two different trends going on here. The F-250 is actually a bit of an exception here. I think it's mostly being driven by the fact that people tend to finance these large trucks versus lease them, especially because they're often used for, actual work. So they're not as attractive to lease. And as a result, amazing lease deals just aren't often, offered on them. For the G Class, it's just realistically because it's such an in-demand vehicle. The G Class and the Porsche 911 probably have, the two longest wait lists of non-exotic vehicles in the country right now. And then, you'll notice the three Land Rovers in the middle. And overall, I'd say that's more just because the Land Rovers do not lease well on average. Land Rover is not offering amazing lease incentives. Instead, they're much more likely to offer financing incentives. And now let's talk about some of the best deals. Again, you'll notice a couple trends here. Two of them are EVs, and that makes sense because EV sales are really struggling right now. So manufacturers are, incentivized to offer deals where they can. And, if you look at the top 10, 20 best deals, a lot of those are also EVs. And then you'll see there are two trucks, the Ram 1500 and the GMC Sierra. And again, that's part of a wider trend where trucks are also among the best deals here. And I mean light duty trucks, not the heavy duty trucks like the Ford F-250. There are many lease deals on the light and medium duty trucks. And then the Jeep Wrangler, I guess, is kind of in a category of its own. It has consistently for years now been among the best lease deals available. And I mean, that's likely just due to the company's financial challenges, but still an awesome deal for an SUV, especially one that is so off-road capable. You'll just have to put up with the maintenance issues that come along with Jeep. And that's all for today. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. And again, you can see all of this data and more on our website, cardeals.fyi.